Okay, so for assembly, I've done my 20 rows. You're then going to, don't fasten off. You can do, but just to make it easier, fold the two short ends together and you're going to work into the stitches. I've realised in the pattern I put end of rows, but it's stitches through both sides and make a double crochet as you go along into each stitch and consecutive foundation chain on the other side. So you just use double crochets. You can sew if you'd prefer. I always like just quickly whizzing along doing double crochet, just making sure you go through both the pieces of fabric, both the short ends. Okay, final one. So you've joined it together into like a little cuff, a little loop. Then fasten off, leaving a longish tail. So this is going to be, we're going to turn it in the other way round shortly. This is going to be the inside. So you're going to use, I use the shorter end, the one I started with, to weave it together. Thread that onto a needle, and then you're going to go make a running stitch through this long end, working back and forth through the top of the stitches, just going into holes really. So through that hole, say, and then the next hole, there's no rhyme or reason really. It's just find some holes, push your needle through. So running stitch, so just moving, always moving forward. And then you start to pull it and you notice it's gathering. So pull it as you go and it's just gathering in this end. You don't need much yarn to do this at all because you're putting it together. So I'm just using my small end here. That's it. Final bit. So it's like a miniature tea cozy if you've made a tea cozy or a hat before. As Anna said, this could easily be a hat if you made it bigger. Or a hat for Helen's little mouse. And then weave the end in here. So put it really tight and just weave it in by pushing your needle through the top, back and forth. Use that to seal any kind of hole that you've got. Put it really tight. So when you've weaved it in, you can snip it off. And then you're going to push it the other way round. So turn it inside out, which is actually going to be the outside. Here's your little hat shape. Super cute. I feel like we need to make a little fairy to put that on now. And then you're going to stuff it. Can you see that end here? This is the one that I'd cut off and left long. We're going to use that, leave it out, hanging out the top, put some stuffing in. You can stuff it fairly deep. Oh, I've caught a bit of an end there. I can go in as well. Just practice pulling it together to make sure you don't overstuff it. That'll do. And then do the same thing around the top with the other end. So you can see I'm not worrying too much about where I'm putting the needle. I'm just going to the back and back to the front through some little holes I find at the ends of the rows. If you run out of yarn, just rethread some on your needle. It's fine. Pulling it tight every few stitches. That last bit there. You can see it's gathered together at the top now. There's my little pumpkin shape. And now weave this. Oh, no, before I weave this end in, I'm just going to push it down from the top, out the bottom, where I gathered it at the bottom, just to pull it in a little bit more. Can you see when I pull it, you get even more of a pumpkin shape. And then back again, but not in exactly the same place, otherwise it will just come out. And it helps to weave it in as well because it's getting caught up in that toy stuffing. Okay, give it a shape. Check you're happy with it. And weave in that final end just by pushing it back and through the stitches, and then cut that off. There we go, little miniature pumpkin assembled. We just need a little stalk now.